So for me, I've been saying forever that I want to retire when I'm 50. So how much do you think for someone like me when we have goals? And because I've been saving, I'm a good saver. I've worked since I was like 16, and I've always like try to invest and do stuff. So how much do you think I should have in my account? Don't tell them how much I have in my account, but how much do you think I should have in my account to just say, you know what, I'm comfortable. I want to like retire right now. And when I say I want to retire, that doesn't mean I just want to stay home and watch TV all day. Retiring to me means not the 9 to 5. I have my own other business that I'm doing, but if money doesn't come in, I'm not stressed out about it. Like I said, we're talking about stress. I don't want to be stressed. So if I say I want to retire at 50, how much should I have in my account if nothing else is coming in at this moment?
Yeah. So I actually call that being financially independent. Um, so meaning you want to be in a position where you don't have to work. You know, you're choosing the direction you want to be in. So I don't necessarily call it so retirement can mean financial independence, but some folks want to achieve financial independence before they retire because they have other things they want to pursue. So that's number one. Number two, the amount is dependent on how much you make. Also, it depends on what your lifestyle is. Where do you plan to live when you retire? So it is an individual situation. But the typical number is 80% of what you've made is really what you need. 80% of what you've made over your working years is what you need to have at least set aside in retirement. And that's why investing is so important. I heard you say you're a saver, and I have my own little observations with great savers. Great savers does not necessarily equal great investors. Okay, because they love to hold on to their money. They like to see their money in the bank. They're afraid to lose their money. So sometimes they tend to be afraid to invest. But you really cannot achieve financial independence without investing. There's no way around it. But in any case, everyone's situation is different because it depends on what your income, what do you anticipate? So just questions that I ask. Where do you plan to live? Will you have a mortgage in your retirement years? Um, what would you like as income, monthly income? And, so let's say you stop working at 50, where's your income coming from? So understanding all of those aspects is going to help me come down, figure out that number that's specific for you in terms of what you want to do. Like I can't just say $1 million and then you're like, well, I plan to live in this expensive exotic island, So it's going to be different for everyone.
So my kids can be my security blanket.
Listen, listen, I don't know who's going to watch this video, but maybe kids from years ago, right? Like our generation of kids, where we're taking care of our parents. Maybe my daughters, I can rely on my daughters, but not my son. I'm sorry. It's yeah. So if that's what you're banking on, you may want to kind of have a backup plan.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that because most of us, I mean, I'm from Africa background, and we tend to take care of our parents, your family. You don't let them just and just forget about them. So I know, for me, I've been teaching my kids, and I've invested for my kids, and just so that they have their own money, they don't have to worry about, coming the same way. I have my money. I don't want to go to them and be a button to them. So. But I think I just want to throw that out. It's not like I'm gonna rely on my kids to say, "Oh, you gotta take care of me." But you never know; things might happen, and they might have the
Yeah.
money to say, but I don't want to put that pressure on them to feel like they have to. So in a way, I'm just throwing it out as a joke, but I just want us to be more mindful of saving and not think of, oh, my husband is going to take care of me, or my son is going to take care of me, or my daughter's going to take care of me. So that's a great advice right there. So
Yeah.
I just need to do better because, like I said, I love to see my money. So I do have money saved, but I think I have to let go and invest more. I do have different investments, and maybe I should do more and invest more in this. So another question that I do have.
Julie,
So
if I can add one thing, because you did say that you like to see your money, you can still see your money if you're investing it,
I
right?
know,
Because
but when
today,
I see it go down, I get stressed out. So are you advising me once I invest that money, don't log in till I'm ready, like a
um,
year?
I would, I always encourage folks to look at it at least quarterly, but don't look at it daily because you will, if it makes you uncomfortable, it's going to continue to make you uncomfortable. I probably watch it every quarter, and it's going to adjust based on what's going on in the economy and businesses. And then I put it down. But literally, when that quarterly statement is produced, is when I go take a look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I don't log in most times. Like I was even asking my son, one of my oldest son, like when it was the last time, and he said, "Oh, I don't even look at it. I don't even remember my password," which is good. So that
I
means it's
can
not
tell
even
you what
stressing
son
about.
that is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have to tell you, you know it is. He said, I don't even know the password. So that means he's not even stressed, right? But for me, I know myself. I know I get stressed a lot. And when I get stressed, I get a headache. And when I get a headache, like things like that can lead to other things I was talking about. When you're stressed about money, it can lead to stroke and other things. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So
Yeah.
I love this part about don't check it every day, maybe every quarterly. It's good. For me, I think I'm in a good space with the way I'm saving and investing as well, but I think I can do better. And I think I've done well with the kids too. So for people that are watching and their kids are maybe in high school and they don't have any investment for their kids, is it too late to maybe start now? Maybe they say, oh, I wish I started when they were, a newborn or stuff like that. So what advice would you say? Do you think it's still good for the parents to open that investment account and then have the kids take over later?
Yeah, I definitely think it's never too late to invest. So especially for your kids. But I also say if you yourself are not investing, but you decide to invest first for your children, it's almost like being in the airplane where they tell you, the adult, to put your mask on first before you put it on for your children. It's the same thing. So that to me is just having a conversation of so maybe you have this budget in mind, but instead of spending the entire budget for your children, you can split it, right? Set something up for yourself as well as for your kids. But it's never too late to get started with investing. They may not have millions, or you may not have millions, at that moment, but just you're planting the seed. We don't plant a seed for a tree and think it's going to grow overnight, right? And no one is going to sit there and watch the tree grow,
Yeah.
right? So that goes back to that quarterly statement with the investing. You're planting seeds for the tree to grow. The tree is growing with even before your eyes, you don't even know what's happening underneath. And before you know it, it's flourishing. That's what happens with investing. So anyway, before I go off on a tangent there, but just wanted to.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. So I think for me, when my kids were little, my boys, I think I just put like every time they get money for birthdays or Christmas, I try to put the money into a savings account. And I think it was Chase Bank. I forgot what the bank was. And I remember when my oldest turned 18, and we went to the bank and I never looked at the interest rate. I think it was like 0.01%. I was like, are you serious? All this money I could have invested, sooner and put this money. Like for me, I was never like, I never knew much about investment. I mean, I knew about my 401k and things like that. So I think learning from that made me open an account sooner for my daughter. And I think looking at my daughter's account now, I wish I did that sooner for my boys. So like you said, it's never too late. I'm glad that I did when I realized with my boys and I opened the account. But if I had done it sooner, I think the the money in the account will have, doubled or tripled or something.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that when you turn 21, they take over. And I think it's a good thing for parents to do for their kids. And just, I mean, for us as adults, even if we didn't learn stuff from our parents and we don't know how to invest, at least we can try to teach our kids to
Yes.
do better. So that way, when they get to a certain age, they're not stressed out. Like now, things are so expensive. So if they want to get their first home or get a car or things like that, at least if the money is there, I mean, I'm sure they can go into maybe not pull everything out, but they can invest, maybe start investing more into that money. Or are they able to pull out from that money that they invest in to do other things? Is that
Yeah,
an
it
account?
depends on yeah, it depends on the account that they establish. So
Okay.
there's tons of investment opportunities out there. And so working with an advisor and understanding your goals, they can direct you to the account that aligns with your goals. And there are accounts that you can easily have access to. I always tell folks going back to the goal, you definitely don't want to have the investment account established as a bank account, meaning like you're going into it very frequently. That's what your bank account is for. But sometimes we think because let's say the investment account has $5,000, your bank account has 30,000, we want to touch the 5,000 because it's the smaller account. But that's the account working the hardest for you. You just don't see it. Going back to the example of planting the seed. Um, so understanding the goal is super important to understand the type of account to establish as well. You said something, and I'm trying to remember what it was because I wanted to add to it, but definitely like what you mentioned with setting up the accounts with your kids, not necessarily having the financial information, like your parents didn't necessarily teach you. There was a time I would say, well, I would hear folks always say to me they didn't have financial literacy. And you know what? And after thinking about it, I say to myself, there financial literacy existed, but they can only share what they knew.
Sure.
So what did they shared their cultural traditions in terms of what they grew up with, parents, whether it's just make sure you have a bank account, checking account. And then we have the other cultural traditions, like in the Caribbean, we call it susu, partner, and box, right?
Right.
That was financial literacy for my mother. So, but that's what we used to buy our houses and our cars. But then we learned about investing and it changed everything for me. So now the financial literacy for my kids is going to be different, right? So
Yeah.
they'll learn something different.
I have one question about, so if I set up an investment account for my kids, say maybe two different accounts, and one is for them to just invest, and another one is the mutual funds account. I think that one you can probably go in. I know you don't like people to go in, but say, they've been investing and they say, you know what, I'm trying to get a house and I want to pull out from that mutual fund. Not maybe they have two different accounts. Is it okay? Like, do you advise them to go? I mean, they've been investing into this account for so long. I mean, they need it for to build a house. It's for something tangible, like it's something good. Do you advise them to go into the mutual fund where they can pull out, even though you don't want them to, but you think this is a good, maybe good reason for them to pull the money out from there?
Yeah, I think anything that aligned with their goals.
Yes.
So whether it's a business, uh, and the mutual fund is an investment account.
Yes.
So let's just say, like, case in point, I have a client that I met with yesterday. When she started with me, she was in college, putting money away. She worked like two jobs and she was stashing money away. And it became so ingrained in her, it almost was like a bill. Like every month she was putting money aside in this account. So she reached out to me because she wants to purchase her first home. She forgot she had this money in this account. So we meet at least once or twice a year and we talk. And so she says, Sharon, I want to buy a house within the next 6 months. In her mind, she's thinking she has to start saving from zero. And I said, well, you have this money in this account, you're not starting from zero. This can go towards your down payment. And when I tell you, like, she was just so ecstatic because she built this discipline and putting money aside. And I think she's been saving probably about, I would say 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And she has this money that she was sitting here telling me the goal she had to set aside for her down payment, not even realizing she already achieved that goal. And so this is the money that's going to help her with her down payment. She just has to work toward getting the other part of the money. So yes, I do advise it as long as it's aligning with your goals. But when folks start to take money out of their accounts for willy-nilly things that really should be maybe in an emergency fund or a bank account, then that's kind of where I'm like, hey, why are you taking this money out? Is that the goal you intended for this money? If it doesn't align with your goals, then I'm going to question it, right? Because I tell people I'm the goalkeeper. If you tell me your goal, I'm going to hold you to that goal, right? Don't come in here telling me, you gotta, pay a bill. Well, wait a minute. Bills, that's your emergency money. That's not this account. So I tell folks I am the person who I am now is the person I wish I had in my life throughout my years of investing because there's no accountability. You can just go online and take your money out. But if you have a person holding you to what you say you want to achieve, it's just a little bit different, comes off a little bit different. So,
That is so true. Because sometimes I remember I've come to you before, like, oh, sure, I need to pull money out. And you were like, why? Like, why are you trying? And I'm thinking in my mind, it's my money. But I love how you held me responsible. Like, no, this is not the money for that. You have money in your savings. Why don't you pull? Like, and I'm trying to say, no, but that money, I'm saving it. I want to see. And you're like, no, you should go into that. So I get what you're saying. Like we want to see our money. We know we always want to pull money, from the investment account, but you're right. If the goal from me from the beginning was like, I'm gonna get a house in 10 years and I've been putting money into that, then I can go in later and pull it out because that was the goal. So
exactly.
it make a good sense. So in the beginning, you said something about the book that you wrote for kids. So for people that want to introduce their kids, maybe they don't know much about investment. So I think this book will be great. Where can they get this book from? Is it
Yes.
online?
Yeah, the books are available online. They are available on Amazon and I also have inventory of books as well. So you can reach me on my website at www.sharonmlewis.com. And there's a link that will connect you to place an order for your books. Or you
Okay.
can
And
just message me directly.
what age group is this book for? Like,
So from a reading, it's elementary level, up to age 9. I think that's like fourth or fifth graders. I would say up to fifth grade. From a concept perspective, reading, it's very easy reading. So, if you have an independent reader, maybe like first or second grade, they can easily read the book. But it's the concept behind the books that we are trying to drive, the discussion around. So I would say between 9 and 10, it's definitely very easy reading. And it's a series of books. And so what I did, I have a book for first allowance, first savings account. And then first trip to the store. I know they sound very simple, but and then I have one for mommy, you have lots of jobs, and daddy, you have lots of jobs. And those are more career focused. And then I also have a workbook that correlates to the storybooks, because then you can do exercises with your children, or if it's a teacher. I've been implementing the programs in schools. So I go into the school and I actually teach the program in schools as well. So yeah, it's very exciting.
this is great. I love it. And I believe I bought a book too when Jasmine was little for her to read through it. So I think I still have it. So I'll definitely give it to I have my two nieces. So I'll definitely give it to them. They're still young. They're by 6 and 3. So I'm sure this will be great for them.
Nice.
But do you also have something for like maybe teenagers, like maybe a session that you have, maybe a classroom or things like that to teach those age group how to save money.
So what I would do, I don't have books right now, but I can do workshops for teenagers. But I always say teaching teenagers, I need to teach the parents too,
Okay.
because it's just like one of those things where if it's not reinforced in the household, then it really doesn't help. So a lot of our learning, whether it's direct or indirect, comes from our environment. So, yes, I can teach the young kids, but what is happening in that household? What are the parents doing? How can we, both be on the same page when it comes to because I know in my area, I always talk to my daughter, and these kids like they have Uber money and they got lunch money. I'm just
Mhm.
oh, and in my mind, immediately I'm calculating that can go in their investment account. Why are you giving your kids all of this money? And do they even have investment accounts? And I'm not saying not to give your kids money. I'm just thinking they have very elaborate spending money, a lot of the kids in my daughter's school. So I was like, if I can only get to their parents and talk to them, but anyway, I digress.
So do you have any workshop coming up? Like any plan to have one coming up soon?
I actually am working on one, not necessarily, so actually every Thursday I do go live in Facebook and I talk about a money topic. So if you want to join my Facebook group and just get little bits of information, that's another, for those who are on Facebook. The next workshop I'm working on is, and actually, I'm sorry, going back, and we're focusing on budgeting. So that's the discussion point for this month is budgeting. And then January, we're going to talk about goal setting. I haven't set something out for the public as yet. I'm working on a workshop for estate planning because I think that's an area we kind of fall short on, where we don't have our legal documents in order. And I think it's so important because I've just heard too many horror stories out there. And if I could help someone get that in place before things happen, it would just be, great, even if it's just two people a month that I'm helping. So I'm working on my plan for next year as we speak. And but if someone wants something specific for their audience, they can reach out to me and I can create something offhand.
Perfect. So on Facebook, what's the name of your Facebook page?
Yeah, so the name of the group is called Work to a Million.
Okay.
And it's directed to folks who, pretty much they earn decent salaries, make a good living, but they just really can't figure out where their money is going. Maybe they're new to investing, maybe they have a lot of debt. So we touch on all of those aspects in the group, just educating, because I feel like if I educate you, then you would feel more comfortable, you'll have less anxiety, and then you can make better decisions. Because I really don't want a client that is um really that has a lot of challenge. When I say challenges, that they have to deal with the emotional mental part before they come meet with me, and sometimes people are just not ready. They need to address that emotional mental part of whatever they're dealing with, because some folks can't make money decisions because they're under so much stress. And so once you are able to manage that part, then I can help you out, but not everyone is ready to receive the message right away. So,
Got it. Thank you so much, Sharon. You've given us so much information. I know people that are stressed about money. Hearing you talk about it will be much, relaxed. So, but I would love people to definitely connect with you. So I'll share all the information where they can meet you online, your Facebook page. I know you're on Instagram as well, and even your book where they can get the book for the kids.
yes,
I will share everything with all the audience. So thank you so much, Sharon. It's always great to talk to you, and I'm sure I'm going to be meeting with you soon since the new year's here to look at my investment account and see if I put more money
definitely.
into it. But thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate you, and thank you so much,
Thank you, Judy,
everyone.
for having me.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Alrighty.